Hello, everyone. It's Michaela Malazzi. It is my favorite day. It's Bare Feet Live Day. It is Tuesday. I hope you're all well. I hope you are all being safe, wearing your masks. I hope you're all voting. It looks like I'm in a different room today. I've actually swapped my setting, and this weekend I kind of set up my room so I could feature some of the things from my travels. Here's some instruments that I've gotten because I decided, why not feature some of the most lovely travel people that I love so much in the travel industry and do a travel talk once a month. I know we usually dance, and don't worry, we're going to be talking about dance today. And I wore a special t-shirt for our guest today because she is the queen of travel. She was my travel hero for so long, and now I'm so honored to call her a friend and a colleague and a fellow host on PBS and create. You guys, it is Samantha Brown.
Yay!
Hello.
Hello. I thought we were dancing. I'm all set to learn a dance, Michaela. Come on.
Well, I know soca's one of your favorite dances, so I could put on some music later and we can kind of wine
that was
and
my brain break with my first my remote schooling with my 7-year-olds. Oh my gosh, I was like, we gotta wind, kids, we gotta wind, and then we'll get back to math.
So for everybody who's on here, thank you so much. Samantha Brown is our guest today, and I'm so honored to have you on here as our guest to talk about travel. Look, we can't really travel right now, but we could talk about travel. We could talk about the travels we've done. We could talk about the travels that we hope to do. We have some, and I'm like, I'm not crying. Don't worry. It's always the same thing. Every week I put on some makeup because I never wear makeup except for the lives. And then my face is like, I hate it. But we have some wonderful people on here with us. So many wonderful people. Crystal from Vegas. We have Colleen from San Francisco. We have our dear friend Charlie from Louisiana Tourism. He is on here.
Hey, Charlie.
And you can see all these comments here. We also have Corey Lee. Oh my gosh, we love Corey Lee so much. He is going to be a future guest on our Bare Feet Live talking about travel. But for those of you who have been living under a rock pretty much and you don't know who Samantha Brown is, you may first recognize her from Travel Channel. You were the first and only female host on Travel Channel for a really long time.
For a very long time, yes.
Yeah. And now you have a Daytime Emmy Award-winning series of your own show on PBS called Places to Love, which I love. It's one of my favorite travel shows ever. And it's your show. You're the host. You're the writer. You're the executive producer. I mean, that is just, so empowering to see another woman do that. But how does it feel for you to have your own show the way you want to make your show?
Oh, it's incredibly empowering and so wonderful, especially when I know when I get to choose where we go and who we meet, and then I get to have the questions that I want to ask them and know that they're going to end up in the edit. Back in my Travel Channel days, and understandably so, I didn't have editing rights. I was the host, and that was where my job started and ended. And when you see the show start here and go all the way to the end, it really becomes your baby, and you're able to really mold it in the way that you see fit, which is to really accentuate and put all the positives you can in this world about the people you get to meet when you travel.
I love it. There was one, I've watched many of your interviews. I've seen you speak live. We've got to hang out many times. I'm so honored to call you a friend. But one of the interviews that you've done, I forget who it was with, but I love what you said. You said because David Dean, who is your editor, who sometimes joins you on your own Facebook Lives that you do, usually Wednesday nights, right? So they can join you and watch their episodes. But you talk about how your show is basically what Travel Channel told you was cut from your Travel Channel shows, right? Like all the beautiful nuggets. And I love that because it is so different from what you would have seen on any other travel show. It's the connections that you make with people. Tell us a little bit about, because you're filming now your 4th season.
Yes.
Which means you have 3 seasons behind you that are on PBS. They're on the PBS app. People can watch them anytime. On Create. Yes, girl. We are part of the Create family. We love being part of Create. We love being part of the public media family. I want to talk about, because obviously I love to dance. I know you love to dance. I want to start with this. Let's talk about some of your favorite dance experiences while filming Places to Love.
Oh boy. I would say that.
Can I name one? Wait, first. Can I name one that I wanted to talk about first before is the Dance-O-Mat in Christchurch, New Zealand.
Yeah. That was pretty incredible.
Yeah. Can you explain a little bit what that is? Because I want one of those here in my house.
Yeah, and a backstory. So I was learning how to Bollywood dance and do all the moves that I haven't watched many Bollywood films, to be honest, but Bollywood dancing is very popular. And the Dance-O-Mat was actually created by an artist collective that came together after the earthquake that New Zealand, Christchurch suffered, I believe in, 2011 was the devastating one. There's two back to back. I think there was one in 2009, 2011, and it basically leveled the city of Christchurch, just gone, and people couldn't even enter it for 2 years. And so it's interesting we're bringing this up because we're all living in a time where we feel like we can't enter things anymore. We can't infiltrate spaces the way we used to and meet people. Yeah. And so this artist collective came together. They were called the Gap Filler Project. And when they were allowed to slowly come back to the city, they wanted to literally fill the gaps that the earthquake created in the middle of their city that had just become like, empty parking lots, empty lots, and fill them with art. And this was one of the installations, a Dance-O-Mat. And they put down a dance floor, and they had an old, I believe, washer machine that you could plug your music into and put some quarters in. Well, not quarters, New Zealand currency. And then the speakers would play your music, and anyone could dance. And
the whole state, it's like a stage with a sound system and lights, like legit.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So there was so much, emotion behind it, because this is where people gathered, and people would go to ballroom dance, and people took ballet lessons there. And then there would just be the odd person just dancing by themselves. But it was where people could come together again. And I feel like during the pandemic, that's something that we miss so much, is just being together and having a shared experience to kind of, it would just embolden us and make us stronger to go through the next day. And I think that's been really tough for us. We've been very isolated, but that's what dance, as you know, that's what dance does. We physically connect, we laugh, we hear music. And even those of us who can't dance.
You're a good dancer, Samantha. You're a very good dancer. Come on.
I can hold my own for a little bit. I can. And then with editing, we can make it look longer. So
there you go. Well, speaking of Bollywood dance, we are actually going to have one of our guests in a few weeks to celebrate Diwali. So if you and the kids want to join us, we're going to be doing a Bollywood dance session for our Bare Feet Lives in about 2 weeks.
I will be there.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. I just want to say a quick hello to everybody who is joining us. This is wonderful. We also have Angel Castellanos who's on. We love Angel.
I love Angel. Angel, just so you know, Michaela, Angel's wife, Blair, makes me chocolate chip cookies.
I know.
Cookie hookup right now. And I'm wondering, Corey Lee, when are the cookies coming, Corey? You're next.
For everyone who doesn't know, my mother makes cookies for Samantha. She made this huge batch because they make cookies for like bridal showers and baby showers. And she knows they're your favorite cookies. They call them butterballs. She's like, butterballs. And it was a whole batch of butterballs. And she's like, we got to send these to Samantha and her family. And every time.
It didn't make it to my family. It just sorry. My kids get too much already.
Oh well. Next time.
My cookies.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about another, any more dance experiences that you've loved, because you've had quite a few. I mean, I'll say another one that I love because I just love them so much. You did step dance.
Oh, sure.
With the step team in Baltimore, and that was incredible. It was the Baltimore Leadership School for Women.
Exactly.
And we actually also featured step in our Bare Feet Live. And what I like what they said, because you asked them, you said, do you consider this dance and she said, no, this is step.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would consider movement dance, but tell us a little bit about that school, but also that experience dancing or stepping with those girls.
Yeah, I love being there. We don't usually show things that like the average traveler can't just show up and have the experience, but I was just loved these women, and I thought it was so important because they're so intrinsic of the can-do spirit that exists in Baltimore, that they do things themselves, right? They march to their own beat, they step to their own beat, and they create. And so we wanted to show that artistic exploration of the city. And they were featured in a Sundance. There was a documentary about this particular group. Actually, not the group that I did, but the actual school. So this might have been like 4 or 6 years later.
Yeah, and with Michelle Obama, I think she featured them. It was her. She was sort of entailed in the project somehow.
That's right. Okay. And so it was, phenomenal. And every girl who goes to this school then ends up going to college, right? 100% college bound rates, I guess. And STEP gives them that sense of discipline and that empowerment. And it's just such an amazing form of art to show women just be in their own, young women just kind of come into their own and use this form of dance to really strengthen them, not only as an individual, but as a community. So it just tied in so much, which I feel like other forms of dance may not, right? I don't know if I necessarily get that from ballet. I remember when I was young, I stopped going to ballet because my body wasn't a certain type and I didn't have a certain look and you just think, oh my gosh, it was so exclusive and it actually kicked you out, which is so strange to think of any art form doing that. And so to see an art form that just totally embraces who you are, not just physically, but mentally, is really powerful stuff.
Yeah, no, I raised my hand because I never had a dancer's ballet dancer's body, but I pushed through, I think, because ballet gave me that discipline. And I needed that focus, and it was sort of my meditation time. Even now, I've been taking ballet over Zoom twice a week, and it's amazing. I mean, through COVID, it's amazing what we can do with technology, just like we're here talking to you today. So for everyone joining us, we are with
like a bar. Do you have a ballet bar?
I do. I have a little ballet bar that can fold up. And it was sitting in like my office for about a year and a half, not being used. And then it's the best. I mean, it was like the best Craigslist buy I ever got.
It's a portable ballet bar? You don't have to mount it? I don't understand. What is it to?
It comes apart, but it's like it has feet and you can unscrew it, and it's a little ballet bar.
Oh, okay, cool. That's great.
I love it. It's my favorite thing that I own right now.
Wow, that's great.
So speaking of COVID, what have you been up to while we can't travel, while we're all sort of at home, being homebound, but trying to be safe? What have you been up to, Samantha?
Yeah, I've been mainly staying home and, like you say, ready to pivot. I think you were the one who really taught me that even before the pandemic. As someone who's has their own business, you just have to be ready to turn on a dime. And, we were all set to do season 4. We got one episode in February, the beginning of February, where we weren't even talking about this. It was such a different time. We got to go to Quebec City and do their winter carnival, which was magical. And then we were all set to go to Europe in March, and obviously not. And so, it's been a challenge. It's been hard to see what it's done to not only, we talk about the travel industry, but it's really made up of small businesses and one-off shops of people who just believe in what they were doing. And that's really what Places to Love is about, is really shining a light on those people and that local community. And so to see kind of it decimate small businesses has been really tough. And I would say since I would think like in August, we realized there could be a window of opportunity for us to continue shooting. And we are in it right now. And it is closing in on us fast because of the COVID numbers that are now accelerating. But we got one episode in last week. We did the Hudson River Valley, which is one of the most beautiful regions in the United States. And we did Dutchess County specifically. This is in New York. And there's tremendous historical context here. It's phenomenal landscape. I think people are going to be it's just going to knock their socks off. It's just rolling hills and it's the fall foliage season. And we were able to show so much great diversity that exists in these cities. Like in the city of Poughkeepsie, there's the largest Oaxacan community outside of Oaxaca,
Wow.
Mexico. So we were able to show great food, and it just filled me up again. And I was very nervous because there are a lot of different layers of safety that we have to keep in place. I travel with a crew of 7, got to keep them safe, got to keep the people we're showing safe. And how are we going to do this? Because I'm so hands-on.
Yeah.
And I would sit there and talk to people for an hour easily, just, 6 inches away. So what does it mean that we now have to wear masks and that sort of thing? And I'm really happy to say we did it. And it was great. And so we got 2 episodes.
Yes.
And we're still trying for 2 more.
Good.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. But like you said, just every week is different, and we just have to take it as it comes. And that's been a real challenge, planning a travel show.
Yeah. Same. It's like figuring out and let's talk a little bit about, we both are independent producers. Your husband, Kevin, who's wonderful, is a producer on your show as well. But I think a lot of people don't realize being part of the public television system is the burden falls on us as the producer to find the funding and to distribute on public television, which I know you feel the same way, but it is just a wonderful family to be a part of public television, especially during COVID. We provide educational and informational programming for families, for people. And I don't know about you, but I've gotten messages like, thank you for taking us around the world while we can't travel. And I'm sure you're getting the same exact message.
Yeah, I think the public television audience is phenomenal. They're forever curious, highly, highly intelligent. So you can do so much with that when you've got this broad audience, but also you have a responsibility that anyone from someone who's 3 years old to 97 can turn our show on and enjoy it, right? There's so much of television is the channels might not be appropriate. It's not really programming that, okay, this demographic is going to like. And for us, we just put out the highest quality content about people and travel, and it just naturally falls into this place of being accessible and something that everyone in every age group can find something really valuable.
I love that so much. Everybody joining us, this is Samantha Brown. Really needs no introduction, but she is the Daytime Emmy Award-winning host and executive producer of her own show, Places to Love, on PBS. You can watch it on the PBS app, on pbs.org, or on your local PBS member station, or on Create. She's just a powerhouse. I've shared this with you before, but I remember watching you become a trapeze artist. I don't even know where you were. Maybe you were in Montreal. And I remember you wearing this red leotard, like ready to start the trapeze.
Yeah.
Like, that woman I want to be her friend, first of all, and I want to be her. And I want to do what she's doing. And this was, your really early days on Travel Channel. And I really feel honored that we're connected and that we have shows together on PBS, but you've influenced so many women and so many girls and so many people to not just travel, but to travel with intention, And I think that's really, really special. So I thank you on behalf of everybody in this world that you have touched in so many different ways, of whether being an inspiration as a producer, as a traveler, as a woman, as a mom, you're doing it all. So thank you so much. I just wanted to put that out there. You were just such a dream. So going back to how public television, you said from anywhere from 3 years old to 97 years old, you can watch this. You've created study guides. Look, through COVID, kids are home for school. Can you tell our fans and viewers what these study guides are and how they can use them and how they can access them?
Yeah, you can access them on my website, samantha-brown.com. And I think there's a little tab that says study guides. And so you can watch the show, which is actually available to stream on my website, which is great. You don't have to wait till it's airing. It's right there for you. And then there are 2 studies for each show that we featured. One is for K through 5. The other is 6 through 8. So basically elementary school and junior high school. And we created questions around each. And what I did not want to do is create sort of this quiz, like, were you watching quiz? This is more about what do we get out? What did you get from that person who is talking passionately about what they do? Because we want to create with young children, especially mine, now that I'm a mom, it's not just getting the answer right. It's understanding and having empathy for the other and understanding that we're all a part of our local community, but then you can bring that out to the world. We all share the same earth. And what does that mean? So there are sort of fun little questions to keep kids going, but then there's also the broader aspect of what it means to be a human being. And usually kids get that more easily than adults, right?
Yes.
And a lot of it was just like watching my show with my daughter, and she'd be like, "Oh, what's that?" And so I'm like, "Oh, okay." And oh, okay. So I understood like where her thinking was there as well. But it really stemmed from when I was doing Passport to Europe with the Travel Channel. I started maybe, I don't know, 5 years after I did this show, getting all of this feedback that, oh, my teacher played your show, and we would watch that for, our culture class or our geography class. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a teaching tool like that. I had no idea. That's how my programs would be used. And I was so honored. And that's, I think, the highest form of compliment you can get when you're used to teach. And so I just thought, well, if my other shows were used to teach, maybe I can create something a little bit more, just more, I forget the word, but just something that everyone can tap into.
Yeah. So for everybody who wants to have access to these study guides, you can print them out, right? They're just free to download and print.
Absolutely. Yep. Print them out.
Yeah. Go to samantha-brown.com. And you can watch all of her 3 seasons of Places to Love for free on her website, on the PBS app, on pbs.org, all these wonderful places. And that's another reason why I love being part of the public television family, is because we give our content to the public for free.
Yeah.
We really,
because now like Apple TV now owns Charlie Brown. What the heck? Hello? How wrong is that?
I know.
I'm purposely never going to sign up for Apple TV just because of that. Like, you can't do that in the year of the pandemic, take away Charlie Brown. So yeah.
We love being part of public media. For everybody who's on here, again, we are with legendary traveler, travel storyteller. I mean, you've been in this business for 20 years now. Which you started when you were about 15. It's just amazing.
Exactly. That's so true. I was a baby. I think it was 11. Yeah.
But for everybody on here, if you have any questions for Samantha, please put them in the comments and we'll pop them up. But, what's interesting, we're going to have a friend of yours as an upcoming Bare Feet Live guest. It is Harold Bernard from Cajun Country, who you dance Zydeco with.
Oh, Harold. Oh my, well, that was one of my favorite dance.
Yeah. And you were good. You were good at two-stepping. You were good at that waltz. Come on, you got to give yourself credit. Yeah. But unfortunately, that whole area was pretty heavily devastated by the 2 hurricanes that hit within a month. So luckily his studio's doing all right, but we are going to have him on once things sort of settle down. We do know that there's another hurricane that's supposed to come through, Hurricane Zeta, I think it is, or Zelda. Just too much for everybody to handle. But I know Harold and I have been talking, and we're so excited to dance. We're going to try and figure out how to dance together virtually.
Nice.
I need to get my husband to be my dance partner. I still haven't told him that he's going to have to be on the live with me. I don't know if he's going to agree, but we'll see.
Tell Harold I said hello.
I will.
So much fun, such a gentleman, and just a great, people from Louisiana, as you know, are just some of the best people you'll ever meet. And they truly live by that saying, they never met a stranger. They will treat you like they've known you for years and they knew your mama, and so you feel embraced. And Harold was definitely one of the greats of shooting down there in Lafayette.
Yeah, I cannot wait to dance with him. We have that Charlie Brown comment. We got lots. Close this live with the Charlie Brown dance. It's like this.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Charlie says he got the Charlie Brown blues. Love it, love it, love it. Corey Lee, exactly. I'm so upset about Charlie Brown. Yeah.
Not right. Not right.
Yeah. So when can people expect, hopefully, these new episodes that you're filming right now?
Yeah.
What are all the destinations, if you can mention them, or what can we expect in the new year?
Well, I can tell you what we've done because we don't know what we're about to do. And I've learned not to put things out there. So
Right.
some people put things out there because, okay, I'm like, no, I'm just going to keep that one to myself.
Yeah.
So Quebec City during Winter Carnival, and that was our first winter destination for places to love. So much fun. Phenomenal time. And then we just finished Dutchess County in the Hudson River Valley of New York. We also have a food show. So when we were doing Places to Love for season 3, we would always do an extra food scene that you never saw in the 3, and then we put it in season 4 and make it like an international food show. So we've got great scenes from there, from Austria to Hungary, to Phoenix, Arizona, to just lots of great, little known places and great food cultures as well. And then we are hoping we have another 2 in us before it just, we're looking at it, and I feel like Star Wars, where the wall is closing and we're all trying to get out of the trash compactor. And maybe we will, maybe we won't. I don't know.
Yeah. I have to say, your Budapest episode is probably my favorite.
Is that right?
Yeah, it is just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Is that the one where you had Joshua Bell, right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Yeah, he was fantastic. We reached out to him. Oh my gosh, because he was obviously he was there when I was there, and we're like, "Would you do this?" And he was like, "Yeah, of course." He's like, "I love PBS. I love public television," and he's all about that. That kids should have access, and I just loved his take on travel. I mean, this is someone who gets to who's been traveling his whole life, but he sees it from a different way through music. Mm-hmm. And he was a wonderful. But yeah, Budapest is definitely one of our best.
It's a beautiful episode. For anyone who hasn't seen it yet, check it out. It is just stunning. The city's stunning.
Yeah,
it's hard to not make a beautiful show when your backdrop is,
of course,
Danube. And
I should have just done that. Just stood by the Danube. Go. This is the Danube. The bridge, and it would have been awesome because Budapest is exactly.
Yeah, we have a couple questions. We have a question from Crystal. She says, "Did you love the crawfish boil?"
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And just for all the reasons why you think you're just there with a huge group of people and they're treating you like, you're their favorite cousin. And I love crawfish. Hard to eat, and you feel a little bit of a newbie trying it, but they give you like 5 pounds of it, and it's just like grabbing and getting messy with people, and it's just something that has to happen if you ever go down to Louisiana. I think there's a season, so you can't have it year round, but if there's a chance, get it, because it's really special.
Yeah, amazing. Corey has a question for us. He said, "What would be your dream destination to film in, both of you?"
Oh, good question, Corey. I can't wait for those cookies to come either. Start baking, Corey. Come on. I'm kidding. I love Corey. Corey's an inspiration. I think we all in the travel industry here really support each other, don't we? It's a great family to be a part of, because we know how hard it is. Yeah. We make it look a little easier than it really is, but it's just so gratifying. Boy, I think I would really love to go to up to like New Brunswick. I would love to go really north to really remote places. Where the people are a little more isolated, but there's still art, I believe, in New Brunswick. I've read a little bit about it, and I find those places to be really mysterious, inviting at the same time. So that's where I would love to go.
That's fantastic. I would like to go and dance with the Maori people in New Zealand. That's been for a very, very long time.
Wow. So they have, I've seen their what do they call Haka dance, right?
Haka dance, where it's like
those are powerful.
Yeah,
those are powerful.
That's been a dream dance of mine to learn for a very long time.
Oh, and people in New Zealand. Have you been to New Zealand, Nicole?
Never, not yet.
Oh, not yet. I would, if Kevin and I thought during the pandemic, if we could move anywhere, it would be New Zealand. our parents would kill us because we're so far away. I'm like, oh no, we'll bring you too. But there's no. I've never met people more friendly than New Zealanders. They are lovely. They are gracious. Oh, it's such a joy to be there. It's just such a joy. Yeah.
And they've really worked together to get through COVID.
And from day one, right? They just
yeah.
And that's something that people should really, I forget their leader's name, Jacinda. Yeah. You're an island, right? If it lands on your shores, it could knock you out, right? Yeah. And so that's what I was so impressed by them. And it's actually in March when I was like, oh, this thing's gonna blow over. I was one of those people. I'm like, come on, it's cold. Yeah. We're really blowing this out of proportion. I remember reading an article from a New Zealander saying you need to stock up on supplies for 2 weeks. You need to get that, and that's when it hit me. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. Really? I mean, they can't make a mistake there.
Yeah,
we can make a few mistakes, and we've got resources. You're an island. That's it. So that's when all of a sudden the seriousness hit me when people from New Zealand were like, this is what you need to do now. Yeah. I'm like, okay.
Well, your husband's on here too. I love that Kevin's here because we had a question from Scott saying, Samantha, loved your show in Vancouver. How might we locate the woman used as a guide on your forest walk? And I think that's your answer.
Hey, thank you, Kevin. Yeah.
Hi, Kevin. Is he right now?
Yeah, perfect. And it's the Talking Trees tour. It's beautiful. She was fantastic.
I love that. Francisco Flores, OMG, love you both. Love both shows and have used you both as models for documentary projects for my students. Thank you, Francisco. Right. He's been in touch. And he's a wonderful teacher. It's just really, really, really wonderful. 2 more questions because I don't want to take any more of your time, Samantha. While we're going, here we go. Kathleen Schultz says, have you been to Prince Edward Island? Have you traveled there from Wisconsin 4 times? Oh, they have traveled there from Wisconsin 4 times. Fall is especially gorgeous, and it seems everyone plays music and dances. All right, I'm in.
Oh my! You know what? Kathleen is so right. Prince Edward Island. Oh my gosh! I mean, isn't that Anne of Green Gables?
Anne of Green Gables. That's my sister's. By the way, my sister is like so upset at herself that she can't be joining us on this live today. She loves you.
I'm upset with her.
But I'll tell her. She'll see this. But she had her own live that she had to run with a group of students. But she loved Anne of Green Gables growing up, and so we've always talked about going up to Prince Edward Island together at some point. I mean, yeah.
And it's just supposed to be so pristine. Yeah, I mean, New Brunswick kind of fits into that same. It's just so pristine, and the people, they're so. It's just this like microcosmic, just little culture hub that you just want to kind of enjoy.
Ooh, I'm sorry about that. We got a wonderful question from Angel. As a producer, he said, what was the most challenging location to shoot in? Was it just last week?
No, not at all. That was really great. We worked really well with the people. If we were shooting inside, we shot when the businesses were closed and it was just us. And so we were really able to lock down and kind of create a set. Mm-hmm. So safety is number one there. So I think everything went really, really smoothly. The most challenging location to shoot in, oh my gosh, I know I've had one. Cities can be really challenging. So just in an overall, because we've got to find parking, we've got to find, gosh, that's, I know it's Angel with the tough questions. I forget.
But just send more cookies to Samantha, then you'll make up for it.
I mean, and Angel has traveled to some pretty incredible locations as well, where there's a lot of challenging situations. So nothing like I think Angel has, but
what is your, I would say, what are your top 3, whether you filmed there or just travel there to sort of bring it all together? What are your top 3 cities that you think people should consider traveling to? Because, places to love, I love how you say they're like the secondary cities.
Oh yeah,
right? Secondary places. What are your top 3 that you think once we can travel again very safely, where would be the top of your list? Those three places.
I would definitely be going to, I love Santa Fe, New Mexico. I love that because you've got three cultures there, just kind of a confluence of with Spanish, with Native American, with even Eastern influences,
Mm.
and a beautiful backdrop, great foods. That's one of my top favorite cities to go to. And after that, oh my gosh, I miss China a lot. We really bond well with the people there and their culture. I would love to go back to Beijing at some point. And then, when I see Europe and I see Budapest, people are making their plans for possibly next summer. Budapest was already a city that had lower volumes of people than, say, like Rome and all these others, Barcelona and all these other cities that were coming into being over touristed, although that's no longer a problem.
Right.
If you still want to continue with that vein of just kind of going where the crowds really won't be yet, I think Budapest is a phenomenal city. You've got gorgeous architecture, great history, phenomenal food, amazing music, and it's really an affordable place to be. So those are just a few, but boy, I never thought I'd be in a situation where just like I'll go anywhere at this point. I think we realize what we had and what we miss.
Yeah, agreed. I hope that when we get past the point for it is safe to travel again, I hope we can remember this time where we took that privilege for granted. And now I hope more people travel with more intention and with more purpose versus just taking that Instagram picture, right? It's more.
And I think so. I think, one thing that we've realized in this pandemic is just how we have needed to support our local community with a fierce, impact. We've tried to support restaurants and businesses and bookshops and artists, and who are they? Because we need everyone for our survival. And I don't think we're going to lose that. I think we're going to take that, what we've learned and just how we feel about supporting local communities. And even if we're going to foreign destinations, we understand that that's still someone else's local community. And that's how we will approach our travels, as being more mindful and where our money goes to and who that money goes to. I think there's a lot to learn. I don't know if it's quite a silver lining, but I think it's it's where we need to be at, where our heads need to be at when we begin to travel again.
Yeah, there has to be some sort of lesson learned from all this, right? It couldn't have been for naught, I hope.
I agree. Yeah. There has to. Yeah. I mean, and that's who we are as people, right? What we learn, and that's the way we move forward.
Yeah. Now, before I let you go, tell everyone where they can find you, because Wednesday nights, are you still doing your lives? They're just so much fun to watch.
Yeah, and that's with my husband, Kevin. So you get the two of us. He's Captain, I'm Tennille. And that's on Facebook. Real Samantha Brown is my Facebook page. And we're live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Instagram, I'm Samantha Brown Travels. So you can find me there. And you can always just go to my website, samantha-brown.com.
Samantha, thank you so much for everything, for joining us today, for sharing about all your travels, for being the queen of travel, and for being a voice. I know I keep saying last thing, but I have to share this one thing. You were our, we started the Women's Travel Fest back in 2014, and you were our very first keynote speaker. And when Kelly Lewis and I decided to start that Women's Travel Fest, because there was nothing like it, we were like, who would be the ultimate speaker? And we're like, Samantha Brown, obviously Samantha Brown. And you were gracious enough to speak at our conference. And it was the most wonderful talk. And you stayed the whole time and shook hands and took pictures with all 350 people, mostly women that were at that conference. So it was like 2 hours later after you spoke, you were able to leave. But we have always been so grateful for you to support women in the travel industry, all people in the travel industry, sharing your story. And we love you. We will always love you. And we're so glad that you're still telling your stories and kicking butt, girl, like just all the accolades and telling beautiful, beautiful stories for everybody. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And everybody, please be safe. Wear your mask, go vote. If you don't have a voting plan, go to vote.org. This is our unique Bare Feet Live series that we're doing, talking about travel, but you can join us this Thursday on Instagram Live, Samantha won't be here, so this is this was your only chance to catch her, but we are going to be talking with Phil Rosenthal of Somebody Feed Phil from Netflix. So join us. Samantha, thank you so much again. Everybody, we will see you on Thursday. Bye.
Bye, everybody.